this is the second grade math video for Monday, April 20th, 2020. My name is Miss Jackson Smith, and I am so excited to learn about math with you today. In this video, we're going to be working on addition, and we're also going to be working on some shapes, and I'm really excited to get started. Before we get started, I wanted to give a couple of shout outs to some second grade Kipsters who worked on Google Classroom math work from last week, but I didn't include their names in the Friday video because I didn't see their work yet. They did it after I made the video, but I still wanted to give them a shout out because they worked super hard. So big shout out to Danisha, Alan, Jamonte, Kayal, Taj, and Kiara. I saw your work on Google Classroom. You guys did a great job, and so just keep up your hard work. But I wanted to make sure you knew that you could get some recognition still. If you want to get a math shout out for this Friday, your first step is watch the second grade YouTube playlist every single day. So this is the Monday video, so you're already getting started on that. But make sure on Tuesday you watch the Tuesday video, that you watch the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday video too. After you're done watching this video, go out over to Google Classroom and do your assignments for the day. If you don't know how to get onto Google Classroom, just watch Mrs. Mannion's how-to videos for logging into Google Classroom and Clever, and I'll put the links below this video. And if you have any trouble at all, just call or text your teacher, and they are going to be so happy to help you out with getting onto Google Classroom so you can do all your work. For this video, just make sure that you have a piece of paper and something to write with, and that you have your brain. If you don't have those things, just pause the video, get them, and so you're ready to get started. First off, let's do a little warm-up with addition with regrouping. Go ahead and sing your addition song with me. Here we go. Add it up. 9 or less, let it rest. 10 or more, go next door. So, I wonder if you can go ahead and copy this problem on your piece of paper and then tell me where we start when we're adding, what place value we start in. So go ahead and copy it right now, and pause the video if you need a little bit of extra time to copy it down. All right, where do we start when we're adding? Do we start in the tens place? Do we start in the ones place? Do we start somewhere else? Who remembers? If you thought the ones place, you were right. Let's start in the ones place. In the ones place, I see the addition sentence, and I want you to read it with me. Here we go. 3 plus 3 plus 9. So 3 plus 3 plus 9, that's tricky. I'm going to look for facts I know. I know 3 plus 3. That's a doubles fact. What is 3 plus 3? 3 plus 3 is 6. So I can look at my ones place and think 6 plus 9 instead of 3 plus 3 plus 9. 6 plus 9, go ahead and solve that. 6 plus 9 is 15. So 10 or more go next door. 15 is more than 10, so I'm going to write down 5 ones and 1 10, just like this. Now we're all done with our ones place, and it's time to do our what, Kipsters? Our tens place. In our tens place, I see a lot of digits, so we're going to have to break them up into chunks. Let's see how we can do that. I've got 1, read it with me, 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5. I'm going to think about that as 1 plus 4, and then also 2 plus 5. And then I'll do my adding from whatever I get there. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. So I'm going to write an addition sentence that's just 5 tens plus 7 tens. That's a lot easier to think about. 5 tens plus 7 tens is 12 tens. 12 is 10 or more, so I'm going to write down 2 in the tens place, and then I'm going to carry that 1 10. Just like that. See, I wrote the 2 in the tens place, and then I put a 1 in the hundreds place. All right, we're not done yet because we've got this 1 in the hundreds place that we still need to remember about. Our answer is not 25. Just 110 by 100 by itself is just 100, so our total is 125. In your practice on Google Classroom today, you're going to see a couple other addition problems that you're going to get to do just like this one. So I can't wait to see what you do. Let's move right along. Last week, you learned all about lines of symmetry. Today, let's learn something new about shapes. Attributes is a special word. Shapes have different names depending on their attributes. Attributes means qualities or characteristics of a shape that make it different from other shapes. But shapes that have the same defining attributes, so that's a special kind of attribute, shapes that have the same defining attributes have the same name. So defining attributes are things like how many sides, how many angles, and then down here are some other questions we're going to ask later in the next couple weeks. Is the shape open or closed? Are the sides straight, curved, parallel, and are there square angles? So get excited to learn what all those things mean. Examples of non-defining attributes are things like how big the shape is, how small it is, or what color it is. Those things don't define a shape, but sides and angles do. So today we're learning names for shapes based on their attributes. To know the name of a shape, we're going to think about a couple of different things. We're going to think about the sides and the angles. Sides and angles, what are those? Well, sides are the straight edges on a shape. Angles are the corners where two sides meet. So on this shape, I see one side, two sides, three sides, four sides. And then I can also count the angles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. If a shape is closed, so there's an example of closed and open. If it's closed and it has all straight sides, so this has all straight sides, this has a straight side and curved side, it is called a polygon. So it has to have closed shape, straight sides. These are some examples of polygons. Some polygons have special names, and we're about to learn them. If a polygon has 3 sides and 3 angles, then it's called a triangle. If a polygon has 4 sides and 4 angles, then it's called a quadrilateral. Say quadrilateral. And you guys might know some special names for quadrilaterals like square or rectangle, and we're going to learn more about those later this week. But for now, let's call any shape that has 4 sides a quadrilateral. If a polygon has 5 sides and 5 angles, it's called a pentagon. Say pentagon. It sounds kind of like polygon, but it starts with the sound pent. And that chunk means 5. If a polygon has 6 sides and 6 angles, it's called a hexagon. So here, hex means 6. So here's a little chart that we're going to keep looking back at today and this week that shows the different names of these polygons. A triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles. A quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. A pentagon has 5 sides and 5 angles. And then a hexagon has 6 sides and 6 angles. Pretty simple. So now our job today is to determine a shape's name by counting the sides and the angles. So on this one and on the next problem, we're going to look at a couple different shapes, and we're going to count the sides together, and then we're going to count the angles together. Then we're going to look at our chart and figure out what's the shape's name. All right? I'm really excited to see what you guys have learned so far. So step 1, count the sides. Count them with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to write down 3 sides. Step 2, count the angles. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3. Or we could count them over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All these shapes have 3 angles, so I'm going to write down 3. Next, I'm going to look at my chart. I have to name the shape. So I'm going to look at my chart. Something that has 3 sides and 3 angles is called a triangle, so I'm going to write down triangle. And I'm all done with that shape. All right, let's try it again with some new shapes. Go ahead and look at these. We're going to count the sides and the angles. So here's the sides, and then these corners are called angles. So we're going to count those too. Here we go. Step 1, count the sides. Go ahead and do that one on your own, and then I'm going to show you the answer. Every single one of these shapes has 4 sides. So if you got 4, you should give yourself a pat on the back. Next, we're going to count those angles. So go ahead and count those angles, and when you're ready, just write that down. All right, if you got 4 angles, give yourself a little check mark, a little smiley face. All these shapes have 4 sides and 4 angles. Even if those angles are really pointy like this, or if they're pointing a different direction like this, they're still angles. So that's 4 angles. Now, I wonder if you remember our last step. It's to find this name of the shape. So let's name that shape right there. If it has 4 sides, 4 angles, what's it called? I wonder if you remember without looking. 4 sides, 4 angles is a quadrilateral. Ooh. So I'm going to write down quadrilateral. You should write that down too. All right, now it's your turn. I want you to go ahead and copy these shapes onto your piece of paper and write down the number of sides, angles, and then what the shape's name is. I put this chart here just to help you remember those names. So pause the video right now and go ahead and try it on your own. Copy the shapes, write down the sides and angles. All right, I'm going to assume you did that one on your own, and now it's time to check your work. On our first shape right here, it has 5 sides and 5 angles. If I look at my chart, I remember that 5 sides, 5 angles means the name is a pentagon. All right, let's look at this shape. I counted the sides and I counted the angles, and I got 6 sides and 6 angles. So that means this shape's name is a hexagon. That's all of the work for today. You guys did an amazing job. Your next step is to go to Google Classroom and complete your math work for Monday, April 20th. Your math work is going to have some adding and then a lot of work with shapes like we just learned. So I'm really, really excited to see what you learned. And so I can't wait for you to do your Google Classroom work as well. Tomorrow we're going to have a brand new video with a lot more math to learn, and so I'm excited to see you tomorrow. I miss you guys so much, and I love you a lot, and you guys are doing a really great job learning at home. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.